Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, we discuss all things culture and politics. And I just wanted to jump on here really quick and have a quick discussion about the conversation going on surrounding XOF model Nala Ray converting to Christianity. But before we get into all that, if you could please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. You don't have to, but if you feel so inclined, please do. And be sure to follow my TikTok. It's listed in the description down below. And with all of that out of the way, let's get into it. If you are unfamiliar with Miss Nala Ray, she used to be a OnlyFans model. She's kind of infamous for going on the Whatever podcast and talking about some of her crazy out there promiscuous tendencies, which we will take a look at in a second here. Recently, she decided to give up her OF career and convert to Christianity with the help of her now husband, and it has caused quite a controversy online. A lot of people are questioning the authenticity of her conversion. Is she forgivable? Is she redeemable? Lots of Christians chiming in as per usual. And you know, I just find it interesting because, hi, convicted drug trafficker here. You know, a lot of people have a past, right? A lot of people have a past and people can change. A lot of people have a past, they want to change and they don't, right? So I find the general conversation of is an ex-corn star redeemable quite interesting. If you're not familiar with me, I have quite a colorful past myself. I was never into degrading my body for money, but I degraded my morals in other areas. I was a drug addict, a convicted drug trafficker. I have felonies on my record. Like I was doing the damn thing, okay? 3 years ago, I gave it all up. I've been sober for 3 years. I've completely changed my life around and I gave myself to Christ and my life up to Christ about a year ago. So it's just interesting to watch a bunch of people act like they've never done anything wrong in their life, judge a young woman for making mistakes and wanting to turn her life around. I don't proclaim to be some expert on Christianity or the Bible. I am forever a student in that regard and I'm really kind of a baby Christian. But if there's one thing that I know about God and Jesus is that Jesus worked with prostitutes and drunks and the poor more than anybody else. So to sit here and act like somebody who has been in a position quite like that is unredeemable and unforgivable is kind of crazy because only God can make that call. Okay, so I have a few things pulled up here. Let's take a look. So if you're unfamiliar with the situation, to kind of set the groundwork here, let's take a look at a video that Nala Ray posted on her TikTok that went crazy viral.
Wait, your biggest fantasy is
not even
cheating.
My biggest. It's like one of my fantasies.
So as we can see here, you know, this isn't even like your average sexual deviancy, right? Like this is like quite out there, in my opinion. This video that Nala created professing her testimony and conversion to Christ has gone crazy viral all over the internet. And it doesn't stop there. She recently went on Michael Knowles' podcast to talk about her conversion to Christ, and the usual suspects had a lot to say. Pearl Davis has had quite a lot to say about Miss Nala, saying here, the reason I keep going on about Nala is because I miss the days when you could go into church and it would not be born again hoes, simps, and former corn star preachers. Jesus does save, but you need to put in the work to prove you are genuine. She is not. This is why 50% of young men have left the church. You know, my general consensus on this whole topic is only time can tell. Okay, do I think going on a press tour about your conversion to Christ is the best move to prove your authenticity? Maybe not, but I also think seeing a lot of the footage from that interview with Michael Knowles, Nala just seems excited about God, because if you really believe in God and you really give your life to Jesus, you are and you do tend to be really excited about it, because if you've ever actually experienced God and Jesus working in your life, it's so incredible that it's hard to not talk about it. And I think a lot of people forget that. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I was a chief of sinners, okay? I had statutes of limitations. I can't say too much, but I was out there in those streets doing my thing. And it led me to my absolute rock bottom. And what I think a lot of Christians, stubborn Catholics or Baptists forget is that a lot of people meet Jesus Christ at their rock bottom, okay? I met God when I had nowhere else to go, and it was literally like all I had left was God. I'm sitting in a jail cell. It's freezing cold. I'm kicking drugs. I'm withdrawing. I have nobody to answer me. Nobody's picking up my calls. I've bailed out thousands of dollars for people to get out of jail, but yet no one's going to pick up my phone call. I am completely alone and isolated and on my own, and all I have left is God. And that's truly where I met God. Most people meet God in a time of desperation, and that's beautiful. That's a great thing. That is the power of Jesus. For people to just so quickly jump on Nala as though this is not like a common occurrence where people meet God all the time is actually crazy. And it just tells me that you've never really gone through anything real in your life. Lucky you, okay? Not the case for most of us. I didn't expect everybody to take me seriously when I first got sober and cleaned up my act and retired the game. Okay, because I had spent so many years digging myself in that hole that it would be ridiculous for me to expect people to like believe me. So what did I do? I put in the work. And a lot of the work is digging deep on yourself, and it takes time to prove through your actions that you are genuine. At this point in my life, 3 years sober and separated from that lifestyle, I'm engaged to be married. I have the closest relationships with my family and friends that I've ever had. I have meaningful connections. I have real goals, and I show up every day. I fight for my life every day. That took a lot of time and work to rebuild trust within those relationships. And I'm just telling you now, that is going to be the road for Nala. With all of that being said, if you are truly a Christian, that means you really, truly would want most people to find their faith and follow the Savior. So condemning somebody for making that hard choice to quit a life of just the most vile sin and want to build a meaningful life that is based on a foundation with God, people need encouragement. It's already hard enough. So for all of you Christians out here who are trying to just condemn and judge her, come on, that has never worked in history. Never once has that ever worked and made somebody want to be a Christian. In fact, that's why like 90% of the world doesn't want anything to do with Christianity, because of these Christians who think they have a right to be judgmental. Hello, hi, sweetheart. The only one who has the right to judge Nala, myself, you, or anybody is God himself. So my advice would be to just pray for her, okay? Obviously, people are allowed to have their opinions, but some of the visceral hate towards her is ridiculous, and it does not make Christians look good, and it doesn't make Christianity look very appealing. Like I said, only time will tell. So the best course of action, in my opinion, is maybe for Nala to like, she's put it out there, right? She's converted, she's done with OF, great. Maybe let's just take a seat back and actually continue to do the inner work. And for everybody who wants to chime in on the topic, I would suggest just, you can sit back and watch, okay? You don't have to harass her like Pearl Davis is doing. And it's pretty rich to hear someone like Pearl come for someone on the basis of Christianity when Pearl herself, she claims that she's a Catholic when it's convenient for her and then doesn't even really care about it or follow the word when it's convenient for her. I don't really think Pearl Davis is a good judge of character when it comes to Christianity or the Bible. I don't really know why Nala feels like she has to prove anything to anyone, because the only thing you have to prove anything to is God, and God knows your heart. But this is what she's chosen to do, and I get it. You can't expect somebody to completely change their mindset and who they are overnight. Okay, it wasn't even too long ago that this girl was popping or whatever out on the internet for anyone to see. Okay, so moving on, there's been a lot of speculation, primarily from Pearl Davis, like, this whole Christianity move is a grift, and she hasn't actually deleted her OF. She's still taking advantage of young men, and blah, 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 blah. So Nala has posted a video explaining what is going on with her OF account. So let's take a quick look at that.
A couple things I want to address is my OnlyFans. I know a lot of you keep saying, oh, it's up, it's up. It is up. I am waiting, and I will show you a screenshot here really fast. I have tried deleting it, okay? It is in the deletion process, but OnlyFans doesn't work like a snap of your fingers. It doesn't just get deleted. So again, I'm going to show you this screenshot really fast. Okay, so I emailed OnlyFans, and this is what they said to me. The account cannot be deleted immediately as long as there are active paid subscribers. Once you initiate the account removal process, it will no longer be possible to subscribe to your profile or renew existing subscriptions. Blah, 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 blah. So this is what it says. You can screenshot it, whatever, but I have absolutely tried my absolute best to get it deleted. I'm trying to move it up the ladder in OnlyFans so that I can just get like completely taken down.
Seems like a perfectly reasonable explanation to me. I don't know. Who am I? I mean, it makes sense. There's people who are still actively paying for the month of that subscription. That would actually be kind of weird for OF to just like not give them the product that they paid for, even though she says she's removed all the pictures and whatnot. Makes sense to me. I don't know. I tend to believe that. And like I said, I'm not really here to be the judgment of whether or not this is real. Whenever somebody professes a conversion to God, I personally just like to sit back and see it through. I'm just gonna pray for them. Okay, like that's the easiest thing for me to do is pray for them. But there is now a video circulating of Nala, not even 3 or 4 months ago, kind of talking about what her plans are for this upcoming year. And it does seem a little suspect to me, a little suspicious. So let's take a look. I just have to say, this is one of the most cringiest videos I think I've ever seen. It's so obvious to me when somebody just wants fame. So she's tried being a fitness influencer, and then she went to OnlyFans. So it's like she had some success as a fitness influencer, blew up as a OF creator, and now that she's kind of pushing a God narrative, it's blowing up even more. So I can see why people might think that this is a grift. I can totally see that. I just don't really think it's our place to shame and condemn someone until we really see it through. But let's just keep watching and see what else she has to say. Extreme business partners? What does that even mean? I can't. I repeat, the most cringiest thing I've ever seen. Like my eyes hurt from that. So this was posted on January 7th, 2024, okay? And this event happened on December 31st, 2023. So interesting timing. And it's just interesting because a lot of the things that she mentioned that she's doing for the new year were talked about in that interview with Michael Knowles. She talked about speaking Japanese. She talked about learning fight training on the Michael Knowles podcast. So a bit suspicious. By the way, this post is from somebody named Adriana Jacob on Twitter. If we take a look now at her TikTok, the baptism video that I showed you at the beginning of my video was posted on December 18th, 2023. And her TikTok in general is just littered with, you know, kind of clickbaiting this whole situation since then. Now, here's the thing. I don't think a lot of people watch the Michael Knowles video all the way through because in my opinion, she is a little hard to watch. Like it to me, it's obvious she likes attention and I don't vibe with that, but I did watch it all the way through. She did talk about in that video though, while she felt drawn to Christ, I mean, giving up that old lifestyle, it's really hard. It's hard to just kind of like, oh, I'm Christian now. I'm well behaved and I'm not a sinner. Like, that's really hard. And I mean, I know from personal experience because I led a similar, not really, but you get what I'm saying, a similar lifestyle. And you know, it takes time to shed those old bad habits and sins and whatnot. I don't know. I can see the argument for both sides. To me, she does seem like somebody who needs a lot of attention, is seeking fame, and I don't know, money, wealth. It kind of rubs me the wrong way. But I also know from personal experience, like I just said, that it can take a while for a true like conversion and a true change to happen. At this point, I feel like if you're a creator on the internet of any kind of popularity, you know better than to move with deception, because you will be found out. You will be found out. It never fails. The internet sleuths are there to find you out. It seems kind of crazy to me to pull this whole like God grift, knowing that things like that video exist. You would have to be pretty dumb to do that unless you were being authentic and genuine. Just something to consider. And obviously she knows how to move on the internet. I don't think she's dumb in that regard. So I don't know, just a thought, but I also don't know why she would be working so hard to prove her faith to people, like working overtime trying to prove her faith to people if she wasn't serious about it. Because let's be honest, like I said, you're gonna be found out. The grift is not gonna last that long. And she seems like somebody who would want a sustainable grift, if you will. All in all, only time will tell. And I think this witch hunt that was started by Pearl Davis is a little ridiculous and just like not most people's places to judge. Of course you can speculate. When you put yourself out on the internet, you open yourself up to speculation and criticism. That's fine. But you know, there is a way to speculate and use discernment without being judgmental and with having compassion. That's literally what the Bible is about. Now, all of this has started Pearl on a whole other rant here. Now it's become a discussion, and I do think it's an interesting one. We have a tweet here saying, church is actually the last place you should meet a woman these days. Church women tend to be more predatory. They tend to have past they are running away from. Isn't that what church is for? Who doesn't have a past? That is the point of God and church and Christianity. That is literally the point. We're all naturally bad people. We all naturally sin. The only person, the only being that is perfect is Jesus Christ. And none of us will ever be perfect, no matter how hard we try. The whole point of having a community in a church is to learn how to be more like Christ and commune with other people that you can relate to, so y'all can lift each other up in your praise of God. Like, this isn't, I don't understand this. All in all, I just think we need less of this condemnation and just nasty attitude and witch hunt, whatever. And I think we need more like respectable discourse, which will never happen because at this point in 2024, it just ain't never gonna happen. But I have to ask, isn't this what y'all wanted? Y'all condemn these OF people and these SWs to stop doing these poor actions they're doing and turn to God. Isn't that what y'all want? You guys are always pushing this onto people, and then when someone does it, it's not good enough for you?
Stop the cap.
This is just setting a bad example. Why would any other girl who's on OF even consider leaving that life behind and going and choosing God when they know that this is how people are gonna react and treat them? Like, y'all have to think about the actions of your consequences sometimes. So the next time that somebody decides to have a conversion of heart, I would just encourage y'all to maybe think before you talk, consider all the information, and just pray. Okay, just pray for the broad. That is all I really have to say on the subject. I just figured I would pop on here and say my piece like I always do, whether you like it or not. Sound off in the comments down below. What do y'all think? Do you think she's genuine, or do you think this is a grift? I'd love to hear some more opinions and viewpoints and perspectives on it. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. And I will see you guys in another video soon. And remember, God bless you and God bless the USA. Bye.